I'm Lloyd Holiday, and this is the Cost of a Thing podcast. Thanks for listening in today. So what happened to that great standard of living that we used to enjoy here in America in the 1960s and even into the 1970s? Well, that's what the Cost of a Thing podcast is all about, and that's what I'm going to be talking about here. Okay, today I'm going to introduce a new The Cost of a Thing podcast segment, and it's going to be called Shoulda Called Lloyd. That's right, Shoulda Called Lloyd. And what this is going to be about is that I see so many things that people do out there in the world that are so bad for them, the consequences of these poor decisions, poor impulse control, so many terrible things that people do in the world, and it really gets them into trouble, and it really lowers their standard of living. I mean, if you get into any kind of a trouble, whether it be with the police, with finances, with your health, it's going to lower your standard of living. So this is why I'm going to try to bring some of these things out, and I'll start out with some of the more famous cases that I know about, and then go into just regular people's stupid decisions. They should have called Lloyd, and I would have told them, don't do that. Do something else. Or do nothing. That would have been better than what they did. And as I do some of these examples of the stupid things that people do that ruin their lives and their standard of living, it's really not about trying to mock or make fun of these people for doing these stupid things. It's to get people to make less stupid decisions and to think a lot longer before you make a decision that might have negative consequences on your life, or just do something that might have negative consequences for your life and your standard of living. So to bring this out, I'm hoping if people listen to this, they will think twice, 3 times before they make a foolish decision, and think of the consequences before that decision is made. And this is so important because sometimes it only takes one bad decision or action to really throw your life into turmoil. Not only destroy your standard of living, it can destroy your whole life. Some of the consequences that we see from this poor decision making could be divorces, they could be job loss, it could be going to jail. Talk about a terrible standard of living. That's got to be one of the worst, if not the worst. Or it can kill you. These bad decisions can kill you. And they do all the time. We see that in the world all the time. So that's why it's just so important to take your time, make the best decision that you can, and don't do anything too quickly. Don't do anything too emotionally. Maybe get some advice, some second opinions before you really do anything that's a critical decision in your life. And another reason I want to bring this segment forward is because I don't see the mainstream news media or fake news or propaganda media bringing this forward. And you never see anybody in the media that I see in the mainstream media. They're always so stiff, and everything's got to be perfectly stated, and perfectly stated in a way that spins it in the direction of the propaganda that they want you to see. And of course, it's got to be totally politically correct. But you never see any of them call anybody stupid. You ever hear that? Gee, this guy was really stupid. Or even dumb or ignorant. You never hear that. You see all these crazy things going on the news and so forth, or in these YouTube videos, but you never hear them say, boy, that guy was really stupid. Now, you see it in the comments sometimes, but the actual, these stiff anchor people, they never say that. I guess that's against the Anchorman Bible or something. But here on Lloyd Holiday's podcast, I kind of call it as I see it, and I don't have any boss or anything, so when I see something stupid, I'm going to call it out. And for this first Shoulda Called Lloyd episode, I've got one that has been bugging me for years, and it's how Michael Jackson died. So senselessly and needlessly. At the relatively young age of about 50 or so, I love Michael Jackson. I loved his music. I thought he was a great entertainer, cool guy. I didn't even believe all of the stuff about the, he liked to be with little boys and all that. I never believed that. And I called that trial result as soon as I heard they were doing it. I said, this is a bad idea to try Michael Jackson for this. They didn't have any evidence. And of course, the reason why they didn't have any evidence is because Michael Jackson didn't do anything wrong. He just liked to have children around and kind of try to relive his childhood. That's just the kind of guy he was. And I think it was all innocent. Nothing ever happened there. And unfortunately, I think that whole trial took a real toll on Michael Jackson mentally and physically. And it may have been one of the contributors ultimately to his downfall and even his death. It was really evil to try somebody without really having real evidence and putting him through like a year or whatever it took of this whole media circus that thing became. And I don't like what happened there. Okay, so let's review a little bit of what happened to Michael Jackson and how he died. He couldn't get to sleep. Apparently he had insomnia. So he hired this doctor to come in, like an anesthesiologist type guy, and administer some type of anesthesia like for during surgery so he could get some sleep. Okay, that was stupid, Michael. Now, Michael was very, very smart, very intelligent, musically, in many other ways. But in this way, on his health, especially seeing what happened to other people, and he saw what happened to Elvis. He saw what happened to a lot of these other guys that took drugs. He should have known better. He should have called Lloyd. I got the call from Michael Jackson. Maybe I'll do here's a little of what that call might have sounded like. Now, let me just say this. I had the highest respect for Michael Jackson, and it was very sad to see that he had died from this thing. So I'm not trying to make fun of him in a way or anything. I'm just trying to point out the stupid things that people do that were so obviously stupid, and they just went ahead and did them anyway. So here's the call I might have got from Michael Jackson. Hello, is this Lloyd? That's Michael Jackson talking. Yes, this is Lloyd. Lloyd, I haven't been able to get to sleep lately, and I have a lot of concerts and dance moves to practice, and I'm practicing 3 hours. I've got to get my sleep, so I just haven't been able to sleep. I'm up too late, laying there. So I'm thinking about hiring this doctor to administer me some anesthesia to put me to sleep, like some surgical anesthesia. What do you think? Michael, don't do it. This is Lloyd. That's a dumb thing to do. You don't want to do it. Forget it. What you want to do is go out and take a walk around Neverland there, and don't do that. That is the worst thing you're going to do. It's not going to be good for you, for your health, for your fans, any of us. So don't do it. Okay, so that's how that would have went. He would have called. I would have told him, don't do it. And, hey, we all would have been much happier. Maybe Michael would still be down at the MGM Grand doing his show tonight. He'd only be in his early 60s. Very young guy yet. We would have maybe some new songs he would have came out with. Well, you can just run with that all day long. But you should have called Lloyd. Okay, so there you go. That kind of gives you an idea of what my new segment, Shoulda Called Lloyd, is going to go like. And let's hope that by doing this, I can maybe bring to light the idea of not doing stupid things and thinking about things a lot longer before we do anything. Because that's where we get in trouble. We make emotional decisions, impulse decisions people do. And, I've been guilty of that too. I'm not saying I'm perfect. I'm better than I used to be. I don't make too many mistakes anymore. And let us not forget one thing here, and I use this quite a bit, and it is the do nothing option. The do nothing option is very underrated. When you run into a situation, you always want to do something. Let's do something. Let's take some action on this. Well, a lot of times I've found in my life, don't do anything. Just let it ride for a while anyway. Let things ride. Even though if it seems like you should be doing something, don't do it. Maybe if Michael would have just let it ride, maybe he would have started sleeping on his own okay again in a month or so. We don't know, but I think maybe you would have. But never underestimate the do nothing option. A lot of times, something will seem like it's a problem, and then you wait a month, 2 months, just goes away on its own, disappears. No more trouble. I can't tell you how many times that has happened to me. Where I go, I don't really know which way to go. I'm just going to do nothing. And pretty soon, the thing just disappears. No longer a problem. And I'm just going to end it right there today. And I'll be doing another one of these in the near future. Shoulda Called Lloyd, about one of the millions of stupid and dumb things I see people do out there in the world. Some people famous, some not so famous, that can really affect their lives in a negative way most of the time, of course, and really destroy their standard of living. Thank you for listening in today. And until next time, this is Lloyd Holiday signing off.